So how about the Eurozone crisis that we see that it's major contributor to the economic uncertainty?
Definitely. The euro crisis is the biggest contributor right now, and hence the volatility that we are seeing in the market currently is all due to the European crisis. When originally the European crisis was just confined to Greece. Now Greece is a very small economy. Okay, now everyone's talking about Spain. Now Greece and Spain not the same. Greece is a very small economy, whereas Spain is the 12th largest economy in the world, the 4th largest economy in the Eurozone. Okay, and right now Greece has already been bailed out. Now everyone is putting their attention on the Spanish bond yields right now, which are spiking above 6%. Above 7% is already seen as a very dangerous territory right now.
Right. So how is the Dow Jones reacting to the US earning now?
Okay, the Dow Jones, the US earnings have surprisingly been doing really well. They have surpassed about 20% of the companies that have released their earnings. They have surpassed expectations. Yeah, and this has been going on for the last 8 quarters actually, which is pretty interesting.
So for the quarter one, it's like that. But how is the next quarter? Maybe quarter two and
Quarter 2, we would have to see perhaps later on quarter 2,
Okay.
But for now, we're looking at quarter 1. We have quarter 1 right under our eyes, and it's looking pretty good, which is why the Dow Jones, despite the fact all this Eurozone jitters, the Dow Jones is hardly correcting. It's still maintained at around the 13,000 level.
So are there any good US or Hong Kong stocks maybe worth entering into with good valuation?
Okay, if you ask me, my favorite stock personally is bound to be Apple. Okay, why would you say Apple? Apple has got so much cash flow, free cash flow out there. They can practically buy a country. They have $90 billion in cash. Okay, they have amazing products. They are always coming up, innovating with new products. They had a groundbreaking quarter last year, and they surpass analyst expectations every quarter by about 22%, which is pretty awesome actually. Which in light of this current economic crisis, it's pretty hard to come by.
So from Hong Kong?
From Hong Kong, I like Baidu actually.
Why?
I like Baidu because Baidu is closely related to Google. Google's doing well in the US. Well, in China we don't have Google because of all the censorship and all. So what Google is to us, Baidu is to the people in mainland China. So this is bound to gain revenue as well.
That's great. So what about the Indonesian stock index? Maybe is there any potential more in 2012?
Okay, the Indonesian stock index, despite very good fundamentals, very good valuations, is strongly driven by the Dow Jones right now, by external forces. Dow Jones is doing well, and hence Indonesian stock market is obviously doing pretty well. Yeah, but in case we have any jitters in the economy, the Dow Jones could correct. Potentially, right now it's doing near the 13,000 level. It could potentially correct to 12,002, and we could see the Indonesian stock market correct along with it.
So the economic condition that is like the postponing of fuel price, the inflation, or so on, is that any impact to this Indonesian stock index?
Yeah, definitely. Indonesian stock index is very much driven by inflation as well.
So how are the B20, Nikkei, Hang Seng comes to you?
Okay, if you were to ask me between the Asian indices, I would choose Nikkei among all the three. Why? Okay, there's a very simple reason. First of all, the US dollar yen. The US dollar yen has strengthened quite a lot, which means the yen is weakened. Yen weakening is a good thing.
Why?
Because Japan is a country very dominant on its exports. Okay, every 1 yen, the dollar yen, right? It's like the stronger the yen is, the worse it is for the economy, because they receive their money in yen, right? So basically, the Japanese, they want the yen to be weak because it's an exporter-driven country.
I see. So what about China? And now speaking of a hard landing, is the economy headed for a slowdown, something like that? China.
Okay, so there's a lot of analysts out there. They're talking about the slowdown. What's a hard landing exactly? We have to clarify the term first. A hard landing is when the GDP, usually according to most analysts, slips below 6%. Okay, China is definitely slowing down. Okay, it used to be double-digit growth. It used to be 10.8%. The last GDP release was just 8.1%. Yes, so there is a slowdown in China. Okay, but it's definitely not a hard landing because GDP is much above the benchmark of 6%.
So talking about Indonesia, how do you see Indonesia between compared to China, maybe Japan or something, the economy and the condition according to this case? So how do you see that?
I prefer Indonesia actually right now, but right now because the Indonesian index is quite high, I'd prefer to get the Indonesian index on a dip rather than at current levels. But I do like the Japanese stock market, the Nikkei right now, to enter because of the fact that the yen is very weak and is expected to weaken further. Now when the yen becomes weaker, ironically, the stock market goes up. The Japanese stock market goes up.
Yeah. Okay, the
Opposite. Yeah.
So Indonesia economic condition, I feel price. Maybe any obstacle that coming from the government, from the regulation into this condition.
Okay, so far I don't see anything. I'm seeing the NYMEX crude price as well, and the crude price in international crude price going down as well. I'm seeing it to correct to maybe around the 95 area, which in which case we would see the price of fuel go down as well, because it is correlated to crude price after all, right?
Oh, interesting. Maybe we'll be continuing after the break.
Okay.
We'll be right back with more discussion with Mr. Amrit Melwani. Stay with Revenues International.